I'm Shadidi Laser on behalf of SharePoint Careers, and in this video I'm going to share with you 5 tips to improve your SharePoint resume in 2013. Now, the release of SharePoint 2013 at the Microsoft SharePoint Conference in November has provided a new sense of optimism and enthusiasm for the SharePoint community. This leads to new opportunities for custom development, migrations, and upgrades to the SharePoint 2013 platform. Now, in order to land those opportunities, you must first update your resume, and following the tips in this video, you'll be well on your way. First things first, the SharePoint resume differs from the traditional resume and hiring processes from other technologies and industries, including those within the Microsoft stack. The demand associated with SharePoint recruiting and staffing almost guarantees that you will be contacted to work on various SharePoint openings around the country. In order to properly set yourself apart, however, a few strategies which I'll outline in these 5 tips are needed in order to ensure that you're being contacted for quality and fulfilling assignments within the SharePoint market, and that you're able to maximize your overall value as a professional. I've listed 5 must-do tips and strategies to enhance your resume in 2013. Number 1, include hyperlinks to all public-facing SharePoint sites that you've worked on. Why would you do this? Having proof of your work history is a huge bonus, and having examples of that work also separates you from the rest who just use text to illustrate their overall experience. It helps to separate you from other SharePoint pros, and if your site deployment has been featured on the site topsharepoint.com, then by all means link to that article right up within your resume. Now the question is, what if your public-facing site has an out-of-the-box look and feel? Focus in your resume on explaining the requirements for the deliverable, and also within your interview or phone screen as well. So you can link to sites that are out of the box look and feel. Just make sure you focus more on requirements, but if it's a dazzling site that has been featured on Top SharePoint, then all means link to the article, and you can also link to the actual URL for the site that's public facing. Number 2, include hyperlinks to any case studies, interviews, etc. within your resume. Why would you include hyperlinks to any case studies? Well, contrary to common practice and popular belief, the resume is not the place to explain every single detail regarding your career history. Case studies are basically a gold mine because they are documented proof of your experience, especially if it was written by a vendor or another company as evidence of a huge deployment on their end. So case studies help you to sell your skills and yourself, your overall talent, without coming across as a used car salesman. An example would be from my personal career history. I've served as AvePoint subject matter expert on DocAv releases 4.1 through 5.1, which includes backup design, license evaluations, and hardware recommendations. And within my resume, I've referenced my case study with Social Security Administration. So that's one way that you can both use the resume as well as the hyperlink. So make sure if the case study is a Word document or PDF, host it on a server somewhere where it can be hyperlinked, and you can include that on your resume. Number 3, include all SharePoint specific certifications, and here's the golden tip: include the exam number. Now, the reason why you would include the exam number is because it increases the searchability factor for your resume. It increases the value for your resume because it'll show up in more search results. Assume that the average recruiter does not need to take certification exams to do their job effectively, but their main tool in finding candidates is actually search. If they're looking for an MCITP, you would want to add 7667 and 7668, for example, on the administrative end. And in many cases, the recruiter's assignment may be to find certified SharePoint professionals as part of their criteria. Your job as a candidate is to make it easy for the recruiters to find and hire you. Help them help you. Number 4, include SharePoint user group affiliations and associations on your resume. Why would you include SharePoint users groups? Well, community is growing, as evidenced by the huge investment in community at the SharePoint Conference 2012. Also, many companies, vendors are also looking at community in a whole new light nowadays. It's now seen as a viable way to basically invest in SharePoint and connect to SharePoint professionals. It wasn't always the case. It was always seen as more or less a side project or something you do out of love. Now it's considered something that you actually connect to. So those who prove that they can do more tend to earn more. And user groups and affiliations are a clear indicator of initiative. It's a clear indicator of drive and the ability to go above and beyond the standard 40-hour work week. These qualities are very attractive to companies looking to build a team of solid SharePoint professionals. So if you're a member of the following, list these affiliations on your resume. If you're a SharePoint Saturday organizer, if you've organized a code camp, or you've attended code camps, or you've spoken at code camps, SharePoint Certification study groups, and SharePoint user groups. So all of these affiliations will definitely increase your value in terms of presenting yourself on your resume. And finally, include your LinkedIn profile on your resume. Why would you do this? It allows for future follow-up and communication. Within the SharePoint industry, LinkedIn has become the default hub for SharePoint recruiters around the world. If you are not the candidate for your position that you're applying for, you will be somewhere down the line. LinkedIn makes it easy for recruiters to build a pipeline of candidates and include you within that and connect to you for future communication. Also, using endorsements, which is the new feature for LinkedIn that was recently released in the past few months. And recommendations also gives an additional credibility indicator for your overall resume. So if the recruiter happens to find you on LinkedIn by you blatantly adding it to your resume, then they can also look at your profile and say, oh, a colleague that they've worked with the past or staffed on a position in the past has recommended you, so your stock goes up in their eyes. So an example of this would be to add your name. Let's say you're James Smith, add your email, so on and so forth, and right next to your phone number, just add your LinkedIn profile and make sure that that's included so that recruiters have an additional way to contact you. Now, following the 5 tips to enhance your resume will ensure that you are marketing your SharePoint career skill sets to the best of your ability throughout 2013. Now, what additional tips do you suggest? I want you to leave your comments below, and please subscribe to this channel for more updates. I am Shadidi Laser on behalf of SharePoint Careers. Stay tuned for more.